students, yesterday we started the topic of grammar, reported speech or direct indirect speech, and yesterday I told you how to convert the statements or assertive sentences or declarative sentences from direct to indirect speech. Yesterday I mentioned one rule, that if the reporting verb is in the second form, then some changes take place regarding the use of tenses from direct to indirect speech. Now you must understand that if the reporting verb is in the second form, then present tense in direct speech is changed to relative past tense in indirect speech. Now what is relative past tense? Suppose in direct speech it is simple present tense, it becomes simple past tense. If it is present continuous tense, it becomes past continuous tense. If it is present perfect tense, it becomes past perfect tense. And if it is present perfect continuous tense, then it becomes past perfect continuous tense. This is called the relative past tense. Means keeping the same subform, but it goes from present to past tense, which in technical words we call back shifting the tenses. But this takes place only when the reporting verb is in the second form. Now suppose the reporting verb is in the second form and the direct speech sentence is in simple past tense, then it goes in past perfect tense in indirect speech. Now I have mentioned one example here on the board. She said, I wrote a letter. Now wrote is in V2. As it is in V2, this is simple past tense. Now let us see the indirect speech of this sentence. She said that she had written a letter. Wrote has become had written. This is V3 and here we have used the auxiliary or helping verb had plus V3. It has become past perfect tense. So and reporting verb, she said, this is V2. So since the reporting verb is in the past tense, simple past tense becomes past perfect tense in indirect speech. So she said, I wrote a letter. It becomes, she said that she had written a letter. Now since this is declarative sentence, we use the conjunction that after reporting part, and here pronoun I changed to she. She refers to the speaker. In this way, we should note the changes regarding tenses when the reporting verb is in the second form. Now dear students, after statements we are going to see how to convert interrogative sentences from direct to indirect speech. Now first you should understand there are two types of questions. The first is WH type of question and the second type is verbal question, which we also call yes no type of question. So for yes no type of question as well as for WH type of question, there are different rules. So first we are going to see WH type of question, how it should be converted from direct to indirect speech. She said to the wait, how is my pet responding? Now WH type of question is the question which begins with any question word beginning with either W or H. That is called WH type of question. Now this question begins with the question word how. Now let us see. She said to the wait, how is my pet responding? Now it would go like this. She asked the wait how her pet was responding. Now, yesterday I told you that the type of the sentence uttered by the speaker is very important because that determines many things when you convert the sentences from direct to indirect speech. Now, the sentence uttered by the speaker, she means Mrs. Pumphrey, is how is my pet responding? It's a question. It is an interrogative sentence and that is why in indirect speech we use the reporting verb asked. Either you can use asked or inquired. Now since said is in V2, we also wrote this in V2. She asked the wait. Now yesterday when we changed the statements from direct to indirect speech, in indirect speech we used the conjunction that. But remember, when you convert the questions or when you convert the interrogative sentences from direct to indirect speech, there is no need of using that in indirect speech. Instead, now since this is yes/no type of question, after the reporting part, who said to whom, directly you should take the question word here. Now, very important thing, yesterday I told you that indirect speech only ends with full stop. Direct speech may end with question mark, it may end with an exclamation mark, but indirect speech only ends with full stop. Now what does that mean? It simply means that whatever may be the type of sentence in direct speech, but in indirect speech we convert it only in assertive sentence or only in statement or declarative sentence. And that is why after how, first we put here her paid. Now her paid is a subject, and then we followed with the verb. Now suppose if directly you take the verb here after WH word, again it will remain a question which will be grammatically wrong, and that is why after the using question word, first you should select the subject. Now my paid. Now my has become her, because this refers to her paid means the paid of the speaker. Mrs. Pumphrey's paid. That is why instead of saying my paid, it becomes her paid. How her paid was responding. Now is responding becomes was responding. This is present continuous tense or present progressive tense, and we changed it to past continuous tense or past progressive tense because the reporting verb is in the second form. So let me repeat once again that in direct speech the type of sentence is interrogative, but when you convert it into indirect speech, we convert it into assertive sentence or statement, and that is why the answer goes like this. She asked the maid how her pet was responding. Now we are going to see one example of yes/no type of question. Now after WH type of question, now let us move forward to yes/no type of question, which is also known as verbal question. How to convert the yes/no type of question from direct to indirect speech. The waiter told her, are you giving him plenty of exercises? Now first let us try to understand why we should call this yes/no type of question. Number one, it begins with the helping verb. It doesn't begin with the question word, but it begins with helping verb, and the answer of this question will invariably begin either with yes or no. That is why this is called yes/no type of question. Now how to convert this yes/no type of question into indirect speech? The waiter told her, are you giving him plenty of exercises? So the waiter asked her. Now since this is a question, we used here the reporting verb ask, but since told is V2, we also wrote this in second form. Told her if. Now here there is addition of one more rule, or the rule slightly changed from WH type of question to yes/no type of question. So remember, if you are changing the yes/no type of question from direct to indirect speech, after reporting part you should use either if or whether. Instead of if, you can also use whether. So you can use either if or whether after who said to whom, after reporting part. After that, as our rule, in direct speech it is a question, but we are supposed to convert it into a statement, because in indirect speech there is only full stop at the end, and that is why after if we selected the subject. Now pronoun you is changed to she, because the speaker is speaking with Mrs. Pumphrey. So this refers to her. If she was giving, are giving became was giving, because you are giving, this is present continuous tense, which we need to change this into past continuous tense. Now when the subject is you, in present continuous tense we use the helping verb are. But in past continuous tense, when the subject is either he or she or it, then we use was plus the fourth form of the verb, that is present participle form. So the vet asked her if she was giving him plenty of exercises. Now don't make a mistake here that if was she giving him plenty of exercises. If you do that, again it will remain a question. That is why after if you are supposed to select the subject who, and then you should use here the helping verb, then main verb and the object. And so the answer goes like this. The veterinary surgeon said, are you giving him plenty of exercises? The vet asked her if she was giving him plenty of exercises. Thank you.